Meyiwa murder trial resumes in the North Gauteng High Court this morning. It last sat back in September. If you remember, of course, Tumelo Madlala, who was in the house when Meyiwa was killed, is expected to be back in the hot seat for cross-examination. Proceedings are expected to wrap up in 3 weeks' time. But now, there's another issue. The lawyer for accused 1 to 4 is appealing for funding. Tobani, that of course is his clients who cannot give him financial instructions. He said he may be forced then to withdraw. Sindola Masigane is at court and of course joins us to tell us more about this. Slee, good morning to you. I mean, tell us more about this letter coming from Tobani.
Well, it's a letter that was posted on social media yesterday, and it seems Titi Tobane is flagging some issues with regards to, of course, the pace of the trial. Like you've said, that this particular sitting is set down for 3 weeks. After that, we know that the trial may be forced into another postponement, and that is because, on the assumption that the state may not, of course, call all its witnesses within the next 3 weeks, and of course, cross-examination would not be completed within the 3 weeks that it's set down for in November. He says that Judge Maumela himself has flagged that the pace of the trial is moving at a snail's pace, but also that there are some issues with regards to funding. He says because of how long it's taking to wrap up this trial, his clients have basically run out of money and cannot afford the fees in order to have his representation. And he says in order to prevent a further delay in the trial, he's then appealing to the public to assist with the funding. He's given his banking details in this letter, and he says that if he cannot get financial instructions from his clients, then he may actually be forced to withdraw, which of course would result in another delay in this matter, meaning that new counsel would then have to be given time to familiarize themselves with the dockets and of course forcing perhaps a lengthy postponement.
So Slee, with that being said, please take us back to the sitting then in September.
So in the sitting in September, we sat for about 2 weeks, and this is where we saw the state's first witness, who was under oath for about 5 months. That's Sergeant Thabo Mosia. He wrapped up his testimony, and of course we saw him, facing some very tough questions from the defense with regards to how the crime scene was handled, how there are allegations of the crime scene being cleaned, contaminated, tampered with. We also then heard from the state's second witness, that is Sergeant Patrick Mtetwa. He was one of at least 4 police officers who first responded to the scene. He was on duty at the Vosloorus police station on the 26th of October 2014. And what was interesting about his testimony is that he said when they arrived initially with his colleagues, they did not know exactly where the crime scene was. In fact, he said it looked as if nothing had happened. And so he said that he had proceeded with his colleagues to the hospital where Meyiwa was rushed to get more details about what happened, coming back with Keli Khumalo's mother, who then explained exactly what transpired. We're now on the state's third witness, that is Tumelo Madlala. We are inside the house. This is the first witness who was actually present on that fateful evening, and he has so far told the court his version of events in terms of what happened, saying that 2 intruders came in that afternoon or that evening and proceeded, there was a scuffle, and the second intruder was pinned against the wall by Senzo Meyiwa. In fact, in a doc identification, Tumelo Madlala then proceeded to point out accused number 2, that's Bongani Ntanzi, as the intruder that was pinned against the wall by Senzo Meyiwa. And at this point, we resume, of course, with cross-examination by the defense of Tumelo Madlala's testimony. But we also know that Bongani Ntanzi as well, Tumelo, in fact, has applied for bail. In fact, a month ago in October, he applied for bail because he's the only one out of the accused, out of the 5 men accused, who does not have a previous conviction. But at this point, he still doesn't know the outcome of his bail application, which is another concern that has been cited by his lawyer, Titi Tobane.
So with that being said, Slee, what time do you think we can then expect proceedings to start?
Well, we are expecting court proceedings if there are no issues prior to started around 10 a.m. this morning. And of course, we will be bringing you those visuals live here on DSTV channel 403.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Slindelo Masika. And of course, following through with the Senzo Meyiwa trial, we'll be sure to catch up with Slee, of course, as those proceedings do start and there are other developments in the day. All right.